Bodkin is the Irish Samhain Festival comedy murder mystery Netflix series you never knew you needed. Hey everybody, Matt here with Halloween Daily News, and I want to tell you a little bit about Bodkin. If you haven't heard, this is a brand new original series premiering on Netflix this week on May 9th, and I've seen all 7 episodes in advance. It is described by Netflix as a darkly comedic thriller, and I can say that that's pretty accurate. It does not check all the boxes of any one genre that I can think of, but instead, it does check some of the boxes on a couple different genres. It's not horror, but there are elements of horror in it. I mean, there is murder, there is death, there is some violence, there is even some gore, and yeah, I found it to be very funny. I laughed quite a bit, but it is definitely dark humor, very very dark humor. Not everybody will find it as funny as I did, and it's not a straight comedy by any means. But it does have a lot of comedic elements and comedic moments throughout, and it's not a drama either. It's not a straight drama, but there are dramatic moments as well throughout this thing. So a very unique viewing experience. But as that intro should suggest to you, why we here at HDN specifically are talking about it today is because the entire series is based around a Samhain festival in the Irish town of Bodkin, which is not a real town. It was created for the series, but the series was actually shot on location in Ireland. Again, Bodkin, not a real town, but everything that you see on the screen where it's in Ireland was actually shot in Ireland, and that's one thing right off the bat that I loved about this series is just it's beautiful to look at, and if you're obsessed with all things having to do with Ireland as a result of your obsession with all things having to do with Samhain, well, then I would definitely recommend checking this new series out when it premieres on Netflix again on May 9th. Samhain, of course, the ancient festivals and celebrations in Ireland that would mark the end of the harvest and the beginning of the long, dark winter. And as we know, it was the Samhain festivals and celebrations that would many years later ultimately give way to many of the traditions that we associate with our Americanized celebrations of Halloween. And that is mentioned in the series somewhat briefly, but they do acknowledge what we here at HDN know, of course, well, that Samhain is the origin of Halloween. Now, the plot of the series follows a team of podcasters who come to Bodkin because they are looking to investigate for a new podcast, a new true crime podcast. They're trying to cash in that whole true crime podcast rage, and they're there because in 1999, 3 people disappeared on the night of a Samhain festival in Bodkin. And Bodkin has not held their annual Samhain festival since, until now. As the series takes place, our 3 main characters uh, go to Bodkin to investigate this in the days leading up to this year's Samhain festival. And again, the whole festival was basically put aside after these 3 people disappeared mysteriously back in 1999. So the podcasters want to come and figure it out. Now, no spoilers here, but there is the mystery aspect. It is effective. There's plenty of twists and turns along the way, red herrings and all that good stuff. I'm not going to spoil any of that for you because that is a lot of the fun of the series. I guess that's the one genre it does definitely fit into and pretty much check all the boxes you want. It is a murder mystery. The cast is really great too. Here are the leads at the premiere this week in a photo released by Netflix. Will Forte there on the left. Of course, if you're like me and you're used to seeing him on SNL and various comedy projects that he's been a part of over the years, it might be a little bit jarring because you're just waiting for him. I was waiting for him to just do something goofy at any point, and that doesn't really happen. He plays it more or less straight. That's not to say that there aren't funny things that happen throughout the series. Like I said, I did find it quite funny, but it's not goofy funny in the way that we've seen Forte perform in previous projects. And then there on the right, that is Robin Kara. She plays Emmy, who is Forte's character. Forte plays Gilbert, and Emmy is his research assistant. And she's really kind of the heart of the whole thing, if you ask me. I think just really very likable, both the character and the actress. I think Robin does an awesome job, and Emmy is just, kind of there for us as the audience to really be siding with and rooting for throughout the various characters' adventures. And then there in the center, that is Siobhan Cullen, who plays Dove, who is very central to the whole thing. She is a hard-nosed journalist, and she's from Ireland. Her character Dove is, and doesn't want to be going back there, doesn't like it there, isn't happy to be working on what she considers a much lower form of journalism, or not even journalism, in her opinion, doing this true crime podcast. And then she's got a lot going on too that unfolds throughout the series that you learn is involving her journalism career and a certain source who was confidential for her, had been leaked. And there's all kinds of legal drama going on with her as she is trying to put that aside and help out with this podcast right now. But all three of these guys, I thought, did a really good job in Bodkin. So the leads are great, but it's really a lot of the side characters that play the locals of Bodkin that really give this film its depth and color, and a lot of the humor too, because they're all very interesting characters, as you can imagine. And a lot of the conflict too with these three characters. You know, you've got Dove, originally from Ireland. Now she's working out of that country. You've got Emmy from the UK, and of course you've got Gilbert from the States. And they're all coming with their different sensibilities and kind of butting heads a little bit with the folks of Bodkin, who really just don't want them particularly digging in to this 1999 Samhain festival where these disappearances occurred. And so that's a lot of the fun of the show, is the locals and the interviews that they're doing as they're investigating this mystery. And then of course there is the Samhain of it all, the Halloween of it all, what we call Hallosphere. And there's not a ton of it. Of course, you know, they're in Bodkin. They're not here in the States, so there's not going to be a ton of just Halloween decorations that we would recognize. But it is an ongoing thing. I mean, the word Samhain itself is mentioned in pretty much every episode. They're constantly talking about the festival of '99 when the disappearances occurred, and everywhere they go, as each episode progresses and the days get closer and closer, it is building to this year's Samhain festival, and we do get that payoff, of course, eventually, where they attend the Samhain festival, and it is pretty glorious and pretty awesome. Bonfires, costumes, big giant props, lots of skulls and other cool just aesthetic all throughout. And that will be many of your favorite part of the series, no doubt, as it was for me when they finally get there. But there is Hallosphere throughout. We get a lot of shots like this where you can see the townspeople working to decorate and get ready for the Samhain festival. They're clearly all into it, all participating and all on board with bringing it back after over 2 decades of it not happening, thanks to these tragic disappearances that happened and kind of put a bad shadow over it all. So now they're trying to bring it back. And again, though, we've got the podcasters poking around, asking questions, and the Bodkin locals really, understandably, want to move on from this and relaunch the Samhain festival, in part to help the local economy by bringing tourists and visitors and spiking the activity in the town. And so that is one reason why some of them are not too happy to have these podcasters poking around and asking questions that they don't particularly want to be talking about right now. Now, again, I recommend you check this out if you're into Samhain and the history of Halloween I am. If you're curious and fascinated with all things Ireland, as I am, due in no small part to my obsession with Samhain and Halloween. And I would also recommend it because at the end of the day, for me anyway, Bodkin is awesome if for no other reason than it exists in the first place. I mean, just the fact that we have in 2024 an original series, 7 episodes, a comedy thriller, all based around a Samhain festival in Ireland, no less. I love this. I love everything about that it even exists in this day and age. And I think that in itself is cool. Not a Halloween show exactly, a Samhain show. But of course, it qualifies as a Halloween show because Samhain is Halloween. But it premieres on Netflix on May 9th. I hope you guys will check it out. I recommend you do. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. I found it to be funny. That's the category I would put it in, mostly a comedy, although it is not it's not a laugh riot. You're not constantly laughing every 5 seconds or anything like that. And it's certainly not like a silly, goofy type comedy either. There is some dark stuff in there, some dark humor. But I want to hear what you guys think once you watch it. So watch all 7 episodes, then come back and comment below. Give me your thoughts on Bodkin if you enjoyed it as much as I did. Either way, I want to hear what you guys think, and I look forward to it. So be sure to check it out and let us know what you think down in the comments below. After you do, I look forward to it. Until then, I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you for watching.